What's good everyone, my name is Magna and welcome back to Energy Assault Gun Breakdowns, where I give a full-blown analysis of every gun in the game from the least to most expensive. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the starter shotgun that's unlocked for free, the Benelli, which I actually think is the worst shotgun in the game, and I'll tell you why later in the video. But if you haven't seen the previous episode, click on the top right corner or else I'll resort to playing Souls RNG instead of this. But if you're new here, I'm glad you can join me today. I know it's been a while since the last upload, but it feels good to be back. I actually did set up a Discord server, which you can join by clicking on the link in the description. But with all that being said, let's get into the breakdown once again, shall we? Of course, starting with some fun facts, the Benelli, also known as the Benelli M4, or the XM1014, is an Italian shotgun that was first introduced in 1999. Despite it looking pump action, it's actually a semi-auto shotgun that uses an auto-regulated gas operating system, or Argo system. This means it uses two steel pistons that instead work opposite of a rotating bolt, and this system is actually able to self-clean itself, reducing the amount of parts needed to use the gun. This actually makes the Benelli M4 one of the most durable shotguns on the market, being able to easily fire 25,000 rounds without any kind of replacement. It has become one of the most iconic shotguns ever, both in the military and in other games. Of course, I'm sure you guys know it from CS2. But yeah, alright, let's get on to the in-game stats. So again, the Benelli is unlocked for free, and it fires 8 pellets, each dealing 12 damage up to 50 studs, and down to 6 damage out to 100 studs. So if all 8 pellets were to connect in close range, you would deal 96 damage, which is surprisingly not a one-shot kill despite it being a shotgun. The magazine size is 7, which is decent, more than the sawed-off, but less than something like the AA-12 or the Saiga 12. The fire rate though is 220 RPM, which for a semi-auto shotgun is pretty good. The muzzle velocity is 396, which is definitely on the lower end, but it makes sense considering it's a shotgun. By the way, if you want to see a further explanation of calculating the stats of weapons and how I break them down, go check out the previous video up in the top right corner. As far as the handling goes, each individual shell takes 0.71 seconds to reload, so if you were to empty the entire mag, it would take almost 5 seconds to reload the entire weapon, which in this game is considerably slow. And finally, the walk speed is 16 studs per second and the ADS speed is 0.5 seconds. But now onto the recoil, and actually the recoil here isn't very good. Each shot has a good amount of vertical recoil, and it gets even worse when spam firing it. The spread is also really bad around medium range as well. So as far as what attachments work best for the Benelli, what I have on is a red dot, a muzzle brake, and a laser. The muzzle brake will reduce that vertical recoil, and the laser helps with hip firing, which shotguns are generally used for. Now as far as how you should use the Benelli, well, prepare to be a little bit surprised. Yes, it is a shotgun, but due to the damage and spread of the weapon, this gun heavily rewards good aim and constant firing. 220 RPM for a shotgun is pretty good, and you could easily outperform some automatic weapons even in close range. However, I would say the biggest downside of this weapon is the damage and mag size. Those 7 rounds get depleted pretty fast, making you constantly having to be reloading. The worst thing you want happening to you is dumping your whole mag and being left defenseless. So I recommend using a secondary like the Tech 9 or the 93R to make up for its low capacity. Next, it's damage, and this alongside the AA-12 are the only shotguns in the game that cannot one-shot kill, which is super crippling. And as you can see here, there are a lot of times where I played on certain maps where I have fights that I could not win, but if I used any other shotgun that could one-shot, I would have won that fight. However, just because I bashed this thing right now doesn't mean I didn't like it, because for my overall opinion, I actually found the Benelli to be pretty effective. Yeah, it did take getting used to at first, and it was definitely a little frustrating to use the weapon at times, but once I learned how to control the amount of shots I put out, per second, I realized this weapon actually was really good. It does require some good aim, timing, and positioning, as well as some trigger discipline. And yeah, it was definitely annoying I couldn't one-shot as easily, but it was still very usable. It's basically like a light version of the AI-12, which you get for free, so if that doesn't appeal to you, then I don't know what else does. So out of 10, I'll give the Benelli an 8 out of 10. Definitely a lot more fun to use than the Scar in my opinion, but definitely does take more time to master. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Feel free to drop a like and sub to the channel. And let me know your guys' opinions on the Benelli down in the comments. And don't forget to join the Discord server if you feel like it as well. It's not going to be very big, but if you want a low traffic server or just want to contact me for something in particular, go ahead and join it. But thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.